Welcome back to Hannity. So earlier today, Speaker John Boehner met with President Obama at the White House. Unfortunately, the Speaker hasn't had time to come on this program. Now, we put in numerous requests, but the last time I sat down with him for a one-on-one interview was way back in June of 2011. Now, since that time, however, the Speaker's found plenty of time in his busy schedule to chat with these people.
We begin this morning with our exclusive guest, the Speaker of the House, John Boehner. Mr. Speaker, welcome back.
David, good to be here.
Mr. Speaker, it's good to see you.
Matt, nice to see you.
This is going nowhere.
Well, Bob, you know, I've been around this town for a little while, like you have. Not quite as long.
All you have to do is schedule a vote for a clean government funding resolution. Will you do that?
George, the House has passed 4 bills.
I've been asking you for years, what took so long?
Well, you know, Jay, I travel a lot.
Right.
And when I'm traveling around the country, I keep asking people, hey, Leno's trying to get me on the show. What do you think? And guess what? There are people out there that actually like you.
Oh, well, thank you.
All right, someone who will join us on the show is Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Senator, how are you?
Very good, Sean. Thanks for having me.
I see something missing from the Republican Party. I see you, and I see Mike Lee, and I see Ted Cruz and Marco in the Senate. You guys are kind of taking bold stands and even going up against your leadership a lot of times. I don't see that. I would envision the House would be like really boldly pushing conservative ideas. I don't see them doing that. And I'd like an answer from Speaker Boehner. Why would he give a clean debt ceiling to Obama?
Yeah, I think the debt ceiling's a big issue. When I go home to a person, everybody I meet at home says you cannot pass a debt ceiling without having some kind of spending constraint. You can't do that. You can't give the president a blank check. So really, I think it was a huge mistake, and it devalues what we stand for to say, oh, we're going to give you an unlimited amount of money to spend. They didn't even put a dollar limit on it. Unlimited amount of money you can spend for a period of time.
Do you think that the average person in the country knows that if the Republicans came back in power in the House and Senate, what their agenda would be? Because I don't think they do.
Well, you know, I think we're having some growing pains as a party, and the Republican Party will struggle. But I've seen this since I was a kid. You know, I was there in 1976 when Reagan came forward, and everybody said, you know, you need to sit down and wait your turn, and he didn't. But ultimately, his message became the Republican message. So that's what we're going through now. We've lost a couple presidential elections, and we're going to have some growing pains until we find our voice. And some of us hope that voice will be one for limited government and maximal freedom, but we'll see.
Is there hostility in the leadership to the Tea Party? Because there certainly seems to be.
You know, I find that, you know, of course, everybody likes me. I get along with everybody, and we have no
Everybody
fights
likes
at
you?
all, you know?
I know a few people that don't like you, but, you know, I personally like you.
All right, we're not going to name all of them on the air. We don't have a long time here, Sean.
Yeah.
So, no, I try to get along, and I think there are different segments of the party, and you try to put forward ideas, and the people who become leaders in the party have the best ideas. But it's sometimes, no, you know, we're adults. We do have some disagreements, but I would say that none of it do I see as something that's insurmountable. I think we have the best ideas. Obamacare is such a disaster. All of the spending and the debt is such a disaster. I think in 2014, voters are going to come out and really repudiate the president and repudiate his policies.
Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I envision the alternative party as having a pretty bold agenda, and that there's a way to bridge the gap. Because I would think every Republican should be for a balanced budget, the penny plan. I think every Republican would be for opening up energy, drilling, fracking, natural gas all around the country. I would think that they would be for health care savings accounts, controlling the border. There seems to be 4 or 5 things that the Republicans ought to sit down, agree on, and say, we'll do this if we get elected. I don't see a single message coming out of Republicans that says, we'll do this, united, if we're elected.
But I think the things you just listed, we all are united for. I think sometimes we are not doing a good enough job presenting that message to the people and presenting it in a way that, you know, that resonates with the people. But it's not that we disagree on any of the things you just said. The one thing I would add to it is that we also care about growing the economy and creating jobs. And the way we would do it is by leaving more money at home, leaving more money in Kentucky, leaving more money in Texas, leaving more money in the hands of those who earn it. And that would be a stimulus that would work, and that we need to show that against and in contradistinction to the president's policies, which really haven't been creating jobs.
You've been pretty outspoken against Bill Clinton of late. I think, wasn't Clinton in Kentucky today?
Yeah, but I think the Democrats mistake Bill Clinton's popularity. We have a lot of conservative Democrats in our state who go to church each week and really don't approve of his behavior, what he's done with women, with sexual harassment in the workplace. A lot of Democrats in our state don't approve of that kind of behavior. So I think really having him as some sort of role model for the Democrat Party, it's something they ought to really rethink, because there are a lot of people who don't agree with those kind of values.
Yeah, but do you think that would be a big enough issue? Do you think that would be a big issue come if Hillary runs for president? And let's say you run for president. Would you make it a big issue that he would be back in the White House?
I don't think Bill Clinton is so much an issue, his behavior and the way he's treated women through the years. It's really an issue about whether you want him as a role model and whether you want him as a leader in your party. It doesn't directly reflect on Hillary, but it is a little hard to escape the association and that he's a big fundraiser. And I personally think, like Allison Grimes in our state who's running for Senate, I would return any money that was associated with Bill Clinton, because I think he's a bad role model for the workplace, for women's rights, for all of that. And I think really, frankly, they ought to be a little embarrassed to be, associated or being seen with him.
Where are you now with the Surgeon General filibuster?
We are asking Harry Reid to withdraw his nomination. The Surgeon General is a position where you can promote things like healthy lifestyle, no smoking, not being obese, trying to eat healthy, that kind of thing. But being someone who's going to come in and politicize it and make it, he was the head of Doctors for Obama, who every other word that comes out of his mouth or through his tweets is something condemning gun owners, condemning the NRA. I think to politicize the Surgeon General position is a big mistake, and we're asking Harry Reid to withdraw his nomination, the president to withdraw his nomination.
Okay, and if they don't?
We'll do what we can to filibuster it, but you realize Harry Reid destroyed the filibuster. There is no filibuster. So when he took over and broke the rules last year to change the rules, he got rid of the filibuster on nominations. So we can object, we can vote against him, we can tell the public that we don't think it's a good idea to politicize the position of Surgeon General, but ultimately he will have the power to roll over us, because right now the Senate operates under the iron-fisted rule of one man, Harry Reid. What he says is what goes, and there's been 4 votes that Republicans were interested in the last 6 months. Harry Reid rules the place.
Senator, good to see you. Appreciate you being with us. And when you're ready to announce for president, let us know, okay?
Thanks, Sean.